All right, so this is human reproduction. We are going to talk about, there's my children that I reproduced, and talk about why they look so much alike and why they also are very different. So you don't really care about that. So anyways, one big thing that's always on the Regents is, why do we do reproduction? And is it necessary for the survival of one individual or for the survival of the species? Like, does one particular human, you out there, do you have to have a baby to survive? Absolutely not. You could have a full and wonderful life without a baby. The question is, it's for the survival of the entire species. So some of us have to reproduce. All right. So I'm doing my part because I had 3 kids. So that is sometimes a question on the Regents, is that reproduction is necessary for the survival of the species, but not one individual person. All right. So you could see that. All of the sexual reproduction stuff, like the sperm and the egg, the gametes, sperm and ova or egg, are made through the unit we learned last unit, meiosis. All right, so that's definitely a question you could see, and that's kind of touching on last unit. On to the next. You are going to learn that this all takes place in the gonads, and you have to know, you might have heard that word before, but you didn't know it's actually kind of a technical word. But the female gonad, where eggs are made, is in the ovary, and the male gonad is the testes. So you have to know that. That's a pretty common question. And then you have to know that this whole process is controlled by hormones. Okay, and you've heard like, oh, puberty, hormones. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those. So there are hormones. They are just like little messengers, and they get through your body, through your blood. And they are made in your endocrine glands or endocrine system. So if you ever have a problem with one of these, you would go to an endocrinologist, right? So they're just these like different glands in your body. Like some are sexual, like your ovary and testes, and some are not, like your thyroid. That's an endocrine gland. So they're just these glands that have to do a lot of messaging in your bodies. And they do so by sending hormones through your blood. So that's really the big thing. I don't think you'd see the endocrine system. I think they'd be asking about, how do we send messages to make puberty happen and to make all this sexual reproduction happen? We send hormones through the blood. All right. So just trying to really narrow down like just what you have to know. So just like whatever cell it is, like maybe the pituitary gland is going to send a message to the breast, tell them to develop, or send it to the ovary, tell them to make an egg, or the testes, tell them to make a sperm. And you only want that message to go where you want it to go, right? You only want your message that's being sent by that cell, like maybe the pituitary gland, to go to maybe the ovaries to make an egg. You don't want it to go to your skin cells to make an egg. You want it to go to the ovaries, all right? So there's always like a target cell. That's like the cell you want it to go to, right? It's your target. So just like we've learned before, all these little messages have to be received by receptors. And remember, the receptors have to have like the right matching shape so that they only receive the message that they're supposed to. So that's a common theme you're going to see again. So like in this picture, they'll say like, where would this message be received? Oh, this circle message is going to fit right into this like circle receptor. So again, things are like shape specific, and that's how we make sure that the right messages go to the right places, that only the ovary develops an egg and not the liver or something. Okay. On to the next. So again, common theme, the shape has to fit. The hormone, where you want the message to go, fits in the receptor of where you want the message to be received. All right. Then we're going to get into the lovely male reproductive system. And this is where I just wish we could all be together, because it's so fun watching you guys say all these words awkwardly and become red in the face. So in our next video, we will discuss the male reproductive system. Bye.